Hey, I'm glad you can tune in. Welcome to our series where I talk to entrepreneurs, guys like you and me, not the $1 million guys, but guys that have built up a business from scratch on their own and are busy building it to empires. But everyone needs to start somewhere, so I thought it will be great for us to see that ordinary people like you and me, can start business and how did they start the businesses. I'm going to move over to the interview. I'll see you in the interview. Well, good day, folks. I'm so glad you can join me again today. Today I have a very, very special lady with me, and she's going to teach us wealth creation is not just about making money, but really living a very balanced and healthy lifestyle. Nelda, tell us, what can you teach us about living healthy?
Hello, Cobus. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a privilege to chat to you about health and wellness, especially for entrepreneurs and wealth creation. You know, so many people spend their days to create wealth. And then one day when they are wealthy, they realize that they neglected their health. And then they spend that money to regain their health. And for some people, it's just too late. So it just tells me that there should be a balance between, well, in your life, to actually, you know, for when it comes to wealth creation, you should look after your health. So let me start by telling you my story, if I may. You know, as a child, I was very ill. I had continuous and constant illness, allergies, feelings of not being well, right up until my early 30s. And in certain instances, it was a great challenge. So I met my husband about 6 years ago. And when we met, my health was probably at its worst. And he continuously told me that I should build my immune system. And I didn't agree with him because I was adamant that certain foods I can't eat. This is the reaction. And I felt like, you know, I know everything. And he was persistent. So one of the suggestions was at the time is that we should go away on a holiday. And the holiday was to Russia. And I still figured, but why should we go to Russia? And from Pretoria on the Gautrain to our Tambo airport, we sat in the Gautrain and I was just staring outside because he was passionate about going to Russia. For me, to the contrary, you know, my passion lies with Turkey. And but going to Russia became probably one of the most important, most life-changing experiences in my life journey. And as I was sitting in the Gautrain staring out the window, I had this continuous thoughts saying that, you know, the thoughts was like, you know, why Russia? And it came to me audibly as a message, what I believe is from God, that I'm sending you to Russia to heal. And well, we flew out to Russia. It's on the western side of Russia, a little town called Krasnodar. It's near the Black Sea and very exciting. I don't know if you've ever heard about the dolmens. These are monuments, ancient monuments, and people go there to spend some time, to journal. Some people, you know, put up a little tent at some of those sites and they spend days there. Some people paint, some people just pray, some people meditate. And I took my notebook. Some of the dolmens really was amazing, but I didn't have any life-changing experiences. And Quibus, as I was sitting there at one of the dolmens one morning, it was just like there was a flow of thoughts, a flow of I want to use the word abundant thoughts that came to me. And one of those thoughts was that I need to make peace with certain things in my life. And it was almost as if there was a lot of things that surfaced that I have not yet dealt with in my life. And I wrote down every thought and suggestion that I could. But what hit me like a 10-ton bricks is that there were certain things that I didn't make peace with, in the sense of unforgiveness, that is a burden for me. And to that extent that it has also an impact on my health. So I started, because it was there and it was in my space and it was in my thoughts, I realized that I have to start dealing with this. And while we were still in Russia, a part of the 12-day retreat was that we were very closely acquainted to a family that lives in the village. So we had first-hand experience of what the Russian people do, and how they do it, etc. And we attended a festival, which was what they call Two Hearts, One Melody. And you can interpret this in many ways, but they teach you to get in touch and in tune with who you are, with the individual that God created ultimately. They taught us about people that worked in a corporate environment for many, many years, and how they go back to basics, back to start their own vegetable garden, to have a few chickens, to have a cow, and a lot of those things, to have bees and beehives. And they really became, in a sense, self-sustained when it came to lifestyle. And because these are big corporates, these are guys that had engineering companies and have been had the wealth, but they didn't have the health. And it was their decision to really invest back into their health and wellness. They made their wealth, they've got the money in the bank, but themselves and their families just didn't have the health that they were looking for. So it really ultimately took them back to square one, and they started changing their lifestyle. And this is also one of the reasons why I totally and firmly believe that you can have all the wealth in the world, but if you don't have the health, how can you live a balanced and abundant life? So we learned a lot of things, and that holiday was probably the turning point for me in my life, because coming from a past upbringing where I was very sick, very ill, battled with my immune system, constant allergies, and then to learn all these things. So when we came back from Russia, it was my absolute ultimate priority to make a difference in the world. Now, when we came back from Russia, a few of my friends, including our secretary that worked for Rural and myself at the time, was diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, of course, my mom is a breast cancer survivor. My grandmother passed away of cancer. So cancer was very prominent in the family and the friends, and then it became very prominent with the people around me and close to us in our space. And I just decided, that's it. With my experience in Russia and the people around me, this thought came up, this saying, prevention is better than cure. Why wait until you are diagnosed with a terminal illness or just an illness that's going to change the rest of your life? Why wait until then, when you are diagnosed, where you can start changing maybe 10 or 15 years prior to get there? So rather prevent than to be diagnosed and then have to start making lifestyle changes. And often, Kobus, those changes comes too late for many people. The lady that worked for us, Roland, my secretary, she was so close to our hearts. We loved her to bits, and she was the perfect person to work for both of us, because we both have very rigid and very dominant personalities. To find one secretary that can deal with both our personalities and produce what we wanted her to do was really, a challenge, but she could do it. And she was diagnosed. The Monday morning she went for her checkup, and she just never came back to work. Mentally, she just couldn't handle it. And she passed away a few months later. So this was very sad, and I was absolutely adamant that I'm going to start a health shop, which I called Lugna Health and Wellness. And this, through my health shop, I'm going to make a difference in the sense that I'm going to teach people about their wellness and that prevention is better than cure. So ultimately, Quibus, I'm in the inspiring business. I inspire people, I mentor people to have a better and healthier lifestyle. So Lugna is a Swedish word, and it means to become calm within. So for me, that expression is really everything, is to truly become calm and content within yourself. Whether it is to forgive people, whether it is to just change your lifestyle, change your habits, whatever it is, we need that calmness inside of ourselves. No anxiety, no depression, no worry, no anger. We just need to be the best version of ourselves. So Lugna Health and Wellness soon then started helping people in many ways. I've learned a lot of things along the way, including the things that I also had to deal with. In Russia, the discovery that I had to forgive people. And Quibus, for me, part of who I am, part of what I do is to help people to forgive. So people that's really have sense of unforgiveness and have got a lot of problems, anxiety, anger, because of the fact that they will maybe realize or not even realize that there are certain people in their lives that they've never forgiven, or certain situations. There's certain things that happen that they never got to the forgiveness part. Those are people that I can really severe illness and weak immune system and allergies. So that soon brought me, by doing a course, I did a facilitator, CETA accredited facilitators course. And because right up until that moment, I was in the sales and marketing for most of my corporate, time that I spent as a corporate. And we were looking at about 30 years. And I resigned from my corporate job. After 30 years, I've decided this is it. My husband is an entrepreneur. And when I met him 6 years ago, I knew that there's going to come a time in my life that I have to also become like him. And that meant being an entrepreneur. That meant not being in the corporate environment. But we stress because you can't just go from 30 years in the corporate, getting a salary every month end. You're so used to that lifestyle. And ultimately, I wasn't happy, Quibus, and I was become more and more unhappy in that lifestyle. But with my Russian experience, with my vision with a health shop, and having an entrepreneur in my house, and we building a business together. At that point in time, I was helping him part-time, but I had to make some serious decisions. And that calmness and contentness in myself it just superseded everything else. And I just said, that's it. I resigned, and Quibus, the end of July this year, it will be exactly 2 years that I've become an entrepreneur, that I've become that person creating a wealth and abundance for myself in various ways. I can tell you many ways of how I'm doing it, but most of all, I have to stay true to myself. And myself is in the business, or my purpose is in the business of helping other people, helping them to be the best version of who they are, and helping them to make lifestyle decisions and changes to become healthier, so that when they create their wealth, that they can also ultimately be well, wealth and wellness. So Quibus, I then did the CETA accredited courses, and I acquainted myself with a company called Bright Star. I independently do most of their courses. I do their personal and leadership development course, which is an accredited course. I do their mentoring accredited course. So I can teach you to become a mentor to other people. It is an accredited course with CETA, and I can also mentor people. So I do have a mentoring program called Your Girlfriend, and right now I only do it online. And the online business, that's the way to go. But I can help you to set smarter goals, not just in your business, but also in your personal life, with your health, with your wellness. So I can help you if you say, but, you know, I'm struggling here, I'm struggling there. I've had you know, I think my experience up until now really helps me to help other people in that sense. So Quivers, in a nutshell, that is what I do. That is who I am. I live my purpose every day, and I want to teach people to live their purpose. And, you know, balance is everything. You cannot do anything in life. You cannot create wealth if you are not balanced, if you're not a balanced individual.
Yes, now
And balance brings me,
for sure.
yes.
So again,
Balance means,
go ahead, Nelda, sorry.
no, what I want to say, to have balance, no, what I want to say is that to have balance in your life, Quibus, I always looked at balance, you know, you should have, you should be great and there's always things that doesn't go. A whole lot of other areas that, especially being, you know, while you create your wealth, is to bring in balance. Family is a big one. Relationships, friends. Do you have toxic relationships, toxic friends? You know, sometimes we even have family that that is not good for us. So it's very important to really, you know, to look at everything in a holistic way, in a holistic manner.
Yes, my internet has become slightly unstable, but so some of your last words was cut off. But anyway, thank you very much, Nelda. So it just showed me that again you took an opportunity, and because of what happened at that point in your life, and you just grow with it, and that is one thing I want to get everyone that watching this videos, and you will watch my previous videos as well. All these people were in situations, they saw opportunity, they went for it. You see, we can all wait and wait and wait for the right opportunity, and the right opportunity will pass us because we are too afraid to jump in on something, and we wait for those perfect moment that will never happen, because you only grow. You can grow from where you are. So your perfect moment is that moment you are in now. And from here, you have to grow. And you need to take these opportunities. You need to be open to new things. You need to put yourself out in front of a camera that you might even be scared of. And that is just the way to do it. Nelda, I thank you so much. And I really enjoyed talking to you. And we're all going to grow from here, because we know we need to go online with everything we do from now on.
Absolutely. Quibus, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and it's only a pleasure. Thank you.